Welcome to the first video in our Squeeze Setups onboarding guide. In this first video, I want to lay out the foundation for everything else we'll talk about. We're going to answer one simple question. What is a squeeze at its core? Now here's the whole idea. A squeeze at its core is compression. It's the market holding its breath. When price gets quiet and tight, it likely isn't going to sleep, it's just storing this energy. And eventually, this stored energy has to go somewhere. It has to be released, kind of like a volcano that erupts. Now, when we see a squeeze, we're not predicting direction yet. All we know so far, when we see a squeeze, is that a move is coming. We have no directional bias as of yet. Now, let me show you how we actually measure when we have, quote unquote, what we call a squeeze. There's two things to understand, and let's take them one at a time. Number one are the Bollinger Bands. These are the bands set to 2 standard deviations around a 20-bar moving average. So all they're essentially doing is breathing in and out with volatility, giving you this range. When the market gets calm, you'll see that the Bollinger Bands pull in a little bit tighter and closer towards price. They become narrow. The second component are the Keltner Channels. These are the bands that are built off of a multiple off of the 20-bar average true range. Now here's the trigger that matters. When the Bollinger Bands get so tight, so compressed, that they slip all the way inside of the Keltner Channels, meaning the upper Bollinger Band is below the upper Keltner Channel, which doesn't typically happen, that's what we consider a squeeze. The market has compressed below its own normal range. That's what it means in layman's terms. Now on the chart that shows up as a colored dot, and that's how we know we're in a squeeze. If we see a green dot, that's how we know we're not in a squeeze. We'll talk about that in a little bit more detail in the next video. So why do we care so much about this? Well, the reason we do is because compression is potential energy. The quiet before a storm, it doesn't typically last for an extended period of time. Instead, what we see is price coils, and the tighter and longer the squeeze lasts, usually the bigger that eventual release tends to be. But, and this is the part most people skip, it's a big but, a squeeze by itself is not a trade. It only tells you that energy is stored. It says nothing about direction, and it says nothing about odds. We'll spend several videos turning that raw signal into an actual edge, but starting at its core, we don't have any kind of edge, nor do we have any kind of directional bias. All a squeeze is telling us is that we're now in this compressed period of volatility where the Bollinger Bands have now compressed inside of the Keltner Channels. We're looking for this energy to start to coil, to start to wind up, and before that energy releases, we know somewhere in that period is where we want to take our entry. It's the setup now that we'll talk about that allows us to figure out, do we have any kind of opportunity here for an entry? Is this energy likely to fire in a way where we can profit from it? Or are squeezes in this particular name or on this particular time frame ones that really don't tend to lead to a whole lot more? Instead, we may want to actually be a little bit more of a contrarian. In the next video, I'll show you the different squeeze dots and the different tiers and how we measure just how tight that squeeze is and why the green dot is the one that trips most people up. I'll see you in the next video.